All right, buckle up, everyone, because today we're doing something that historians absolutely hate. We're ranking every U.S. president based purely on their aura. Not their policies, not their approval ratings, but that raw, inexplicable energy that makes you go, yeah, that guy could lead a nation. We're talking S-tier legends, A-tier icons, and yes, some F-tier disasters that make you wonder how they even got the job. So grab your popcorn because we're about to speed run through American history with the respect of a Wikipedia editor and the energy of a caffeinated history teacher. Let's get into it. Starting at the absolute top of S tier, we have the man, the myth, the bull moose himself, Theodore Roosevelt. This guy's aura is so powerful, it literally deflected a bullet. I'm not even exaggerating. In 1912, someone shot him right before a speech, and Teddy, with a bullet lodged in his chest, delivered a 90-minute speech anyway. His opening line? "It takes more than that to kill." A bull moose. This is the same man who went blind in one eye from a boxing match in the White House, lost his wife and mother on the same day and dealt with it by disappearing into the Dakota Badlands, and once skinny dipped in the Potomac River during winter. The guy had the energy of 5 normal presidents compressed into one mustached powerhouse. S tier. No questions asked. Next up, Abraham Lincoln. The man saved the Union, freed the enslaved, and did it all while rocking a beard that could win awards. But Lincoln's aura isn't just about the big stuff. It's the little things too. This guy was 6'4", in an era when the average height was like 5.7, so he just towered over everyone. He reportedly carried important documents in his iconic stovepipe hat, and despite leading the country through its darkest hour, he still found time to tell jokes and stories that had people cracking up. The man delivered the Gettysburg Address, arguably the greatest speech in American history, in under 3 minutes. That's aura efficiency right there. Absolute S-tier legend. You can't have an S-tier without the OG himself, George Washington. The man literally defined what a president should be. He could have been king, but said, nah, I'm good, and set the 2-term precedent that lasted 150 years. Washington once survived 4 bullets tearing through his coat and 2 horses being shot out from under him in battle. 4 bullets, and he walked away without a scratch. Plus, he voluntarily gave up power twice. Once after the Revolutionary War, and again after 2 terms as president. In an era of monarchs and emperors, that kind of restraint, chef's kiss. Pure S-tier energy. Rounding out S-tier, John F. Kennedy. Say what you want about his policies, but this man had presence. Youngest elected president, war hero, and the owner of possibly the most iconic inaugural address ever. Ask not what your country can do for you, but here's the crazy part. JFK's PT boat was literally cut in half by a Japanese destroyer in Uwayuthi. He then swam for hours, towing an injured crew member by holding a strap in his teeth, and survived on a coconut island. The man wrote the rescue message on a coconut shell. A coconut! That coconut is now in a museum. If that's not aura, I don't know what is. Moving into A tier, we've got FDR. This man served 4 terms. He loved the job so much they had to literally amend the Constitution to stop anyone from doing it again. He guided America through the Great Depression and World War II, all while being paralyzed from the waist down. But FDR kept that on the down low. He made sure photographers never caught him in his wheelchair because he wanted to project strength. And you know what? It worked. His fireside chats basically invented the idea of a president directly connecting with citizens. Plus, he once said, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself," which is honestly the most badass way to calm down an entire panicking nation. Solid. A tier. Next up, Barack Obama, first black president, Nobel Peace Prize winner, and the man who literally hit a 3-pointer in front of troops in Kuwait like it was nothing. That clip alone is worth at least A tier status. Obama had style. The man could deliver a speech that made you want to run through a wall, then turn around and slow jam the news on Jimmy Fallon. Sure, he wore a tan suit once, and conservatives lost their minds, but honestly, that just adds to the mystique. He handled a fly landing on his face during a press conference by catching it mid-air. The aura is strong with this one. Ronald Reagan, actor turned president, which should have been a red flag, but somehow he made it work. Reagan's aura was all about communication. They called him the great communicator for a reason. When he got shot in 1981, he literally joked with the surgeons, "I hope you're all Republicans." The man took a bullet and came out with a one-liner. That's A-tier material, plus he told Gorbachev to tear down this wall, and then shockingly, the Berlin Wall actually came down. Coincidence? Maybe. Aura? Definitely. Thomas Jefferson sneaks into A-tier for writing the Declaration of Independence and doubling the size of the country with the Louisiana Purchase, but Jefferson's aura is complicated. Brilliant mind, terrible contradictions. He wrote, "All men are created equal." While enslaving over 600 people, he was a Renaissance man who could design buildings, play violin, and speak 5 languages, but also died completely broke because he couldn't stop buying books and wine. A-tier for accomplishments, but with a massive asterisk. Harry Truman, the buck stops here, guy. Truman had accidental president energy, but once he got the job, he didn't mess around. He ended Watu controversially with the atomic bombs, stood up to Stalin, and desegregated the military. But here's the thing, Truman was blunt. He once wrote an angry letter threatening to punch a music critic who gave his daughter a bad review. That's dad energy taken to presidential levels. Also, he took morning walks so intense that reporters struggled to keep up. Respectable B tier. Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander in WQ, turned president. Ike had military aura in spades. He literally planned D-Day, the largest amphibious invasion in history. As president, he built the interstate highway system, which honestly might be his most lasting legacy. Everyone uses those roads, but Eisenhower was also kind of chill for a war hero. He spent a lot of time golfing and painting. He warned about the military-industrial complex, which was pretty prescient. Solid B tier, effective but not flashy. Ulysses S. Grant, the general who won the Civil War. Grant had battlefield aura for days. He was relentless, strategic, and didn't quit. Lincoln loved him for it. But as president, kind of a mess. His administration was riddled with scandals, though Grant himself was honest. He tried to protect Black Americans during Reconstruction, which counts for something. But overall, great general, okay president. B tier feels right. LBJ, the man with the most aggressive aura in presidential history. Johnson would literally corner people in bathrooms to convince them to vote his way. He'd hold meetings while on the toilet. The man had zero boundaries. He passed the Civil Rights Act and Medicare, which are huge. But Vietnam, yikes, that war tanked his legacy. Still, you can't deny LBJ had presence, terrifying, overwhelming presence. B tier, Bill Clinton. Charisma off the charts, but also, well, you know, Clinton could work a room like nobody's business. He felt your pain, played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall, and presided over a booming economy. But then there was the whole Monica Lewinsky scandal and impeachment. Clinton's aura is strong, but it's permanently tainted. He's like that talented friend who keeps making questionable decisions. C tier, good president, messy human. Richard Nixon. And here's where aura gets weird. Nixon opened relations with China, created the EPA, and would have been remembered pretty well if not for, Watergate. The man was paranoid, sweaty. Literally, the Kennedy debate was rough and eventually resigned in disgrace. But there's something fascinating about Nixon. He was smart, strategic, and his downfall was Shakespearean. He's C tier because the aura is there, but it's dark and cursed. George W. Bush, a man whose aura can be summed up in one moment, dodging those shoes in Iraq with surprising agility. Bush had the guy you'd want to have a beer with energy, which got him elected. He handled 9/11 with the nation rallying behind him, but then Iraq happened. Based on false pretenses, and his legacy collapsed. Plus, there were the Bush-isms. Misunderestimate anyone? C tier. Memorable, but not for all the right reasons. Oh boy, Donald Trump. Look, love him or hate him, nobody can say Trump lacks aura. The man has presence. Reality TV star, billionaire, allegedly, and the only president to be impeached twice. Trump's aura is chaos incarnate. He dominated news cycles, tweeted at 3 a.m. and had zero filter. He got elected with no political experience, which is either impressive or terrifying depending on your view. But the January 6th insurrection, the constant controversies, the divisiveness, it all lands him in D tier. Unforgettable, yes, in a good way. Debatable. Andrew Johnson, Lincoln's successor and possibly the worst person for the job. Johnson actively worked against Reconstruction and tried to undo everything Lincoln died for. He was impeached, first president to be, drunk at his own inauguration, and generally terrible. Johnson's aura is wrong guy, wrong time, wrong everything. D tier is generous. James Buchanan, the president who watched the country fall apart and did nothing. Literally. The South started seceding and Buchanan just shrugged. Historians consistently rank him as one of the worst presidents ever. His aura is absent, D tier, because at least he didn't make it actively worse. Oh wait, he kind of did. Yeah, D tier. Welcome to F tier, where we find Warren G. Harding, a man whose presidency was basically one long scandal. The Teapot Dome scandal, affairs in White House closets, and appointees who were crooks. Harding himself admitted, "I am not fit for this office and should never have been here." At least he was self-aware. He died in office, possibly from stress, possibly from food poisoning, possibly from his wife poisoning him. Unproven conspiracy theory. Either way, F tier all day. Zachary Taylor, a president whose biggest claim to fame is dying from cherries and milk. No, seriously. Taylor ate a bowl of cherries and drank cold milk on a hot July 4th in 1850, got sick, and died 5 days later. Some historians think it was cholera or typhoid, but the official story is death by cherries. 16 months in office, minimal accomplishments, absurd death, F tier for the sheer weirdness. And finally, current President Joe Biden. Look, Biden has experience, senator, VP, now president, but his aura is tired. The man is 81 and it shows. The endless gaffes, the stumbles, literally those stairs got him, and the general vibe of, is he okay? Don't inspire confidence. He's accomplished some things policy-wise, but aura, it's giving your grandpa who forgot where he parked. Time will tell where he lands historically, but right now, F tier for aura. And there you have it. Every president ranked by pure, unfiltered aura. From Teddy Roosevelt's bullet-deflecting bull moose energy to Joe Biden's "where am I" vibes, American history is nothing if not entertaining. Remember, this is all subjective chaos. So if your favorite president got robbed or your least favorite ranked too high, drop your own tier list in the comments. History is messy, presidents are weird, and aura is forever. Thanks for watching, and remember, it takes more than bad rankings to kill a bull moose. Peace.